2, 3.
A Critical Hit Games. We're at 7833 East 71st Street. Opening Friday, which is when you're going to be seeing this. So just come on down. Noon to 9:30. Come on in. So you come in, we've got tables at the open where you can play at. We've got the dungeons you can play in. Everything's going to be, multi-time. We're going to have plenty of minis over here if you want to buy and build a miniature. We're going to get some paint in if you want to paint it. We got the books for all the games so you can learn how to play. Down here we got dice, we got card games, pretty much anything you need, man. I'm going to keep building it up as I go on, get more different stuff in for everybody.
Cam, well, man, we appreciate it. This is a real big gift to Tulsa, man. I think it's going to bring a lot of people, a lot of crowd, and give people that sense of a safe place. So we really appreciate you. Godspeed for everything, my friend.
Thanks, man.
All right, of course.
Yeah.
Yo, it's your man, King Castro X, coming at y'all live and direct with another, I think this is the fifth episode of the Comic Cons podcast. We in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have our first special guest. I'm sorry, I'm slaughtering stuff. It's our first special guest, so y'all gotta bear with me. Before I get into introducing my man, though, first, you know what I'm saying, I got my co-host to my right.
What's good, everyone? It's Jules, man. I'm here, over here in the corner. Yeah, man. We love each other here
Get close.
at Comic Con's podcast. We love each other over here.
Big facts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very excited for this opportunity, man, to sit down with this man sitting right next to us here. Big things coming here in Tulsa. My man is a store owner, ex-professional wrestler, the originator of originators. Sitting to my right, man, ladies and gentlemen, we got Mr. Cam Porter in the building. You know what I'm saying?
How's it going?
Yes, sir. Owner and creator of Critical Hit Tabletop Gaming, my man. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Nice. That's wonderful. Man, first and foremost, congratulations on your business.
Thank you.
I think that's absolutely incredible. We're big comic book nerds, man, and every great comic book has an origin story, right?
Yeah.
So with that, I think you see where we're going here. Man, give us a little background on you, who you are, man, just how you came about getting this business started and what your goals with it are.
Man, I had this idea for a long time. I mean, a lot of people have an idea to own their own business, be their own boss. And I kicked it around for a long time, never knew what I wanted to do. I kind of out of necessity had to make the leap. I worked the same job for 20 years, and it was a very niche business, so like the skills I learned there don't carry over anywhere else.
Right.
And I lost that job, and so I just had to do something. So I just said, fuck it. I'm just going to do my own thing. So I sat down and thought, like, what do I like? What do I think Tulsa needs? And I narrowed it down to this.
I think that's incredible, man. We had a little bit of a conversation on the phone. I think it was yesterday or day before, man. Just kind of, as far as what your interests are and things like that. And you're kind of new to the tabletop gaming, if you will.
Yeah, I got into it maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Nice.
I'd always liked fantasy and everything like that, but I never really sat down and played D&D or anything like that until about 5 or 6 years ago, and then I just got fucking hooked on it.
I feel you. Talk to us a
Sorry
little
I'm cussing
bit.
so much. Is that okay?
No,
it's fine.
We cuss all the fucking time. Yeah, it's fine. I love how after somebody says that, sorry I'm cussing, we have to flag, like, no, we cuss all the fucking time.
We don't give a shit.
Yeah. Man, tell me a little bit about how you got into tabletop gaming.
It was actually through an ex-girlfriend of mine.
Nice.
She had a group, and we started dating, and she invited me to play with her group, and then I just ended up liking that more than her, and we broke up, and I kept doing it.
I think that's dope. That's dope. I've played D&D maybe a total of one time. I'm actually looking to start up a little session.
Hey, I know a place.
Critical hit. Check it out.
My high ass would be like, where, man? Let's do this.
No, man, but yeah, like I said, I haven't got to play a lot, man. But when I did play, I had a monk character.
Oh yeah, that was the first character I ever played.
Yes,
was
sir.
Monk.
I chose the monk, and the nerds I was playing with. Shout out to my guys. You know what I'm saying? Told me I can basically create my own background story. You know what I'm saying? So I was a monk from the 36th chamber of Shaolin and Wu-Tang, my brother.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. We're looking to start up a new game, man. So we might come run it here or whatever, man. But I think that's absolutely dope. Have you played D&D yet?
So I played once, and that was just
same.
a join session, and I was just getting, my feet wet. Like
I hear you.
Dice and storytelling, all that type of stuff. So
I've still got so much to learn when it comes. It's a very in-depth game.
There's a lot.
Do you mess around with any other board games? What's your jam?
Man, I got a whole section of board games at my house, and I just
Nice.
like playing anything, man. Like me and my roommate will just play a lot of shit every now and then. Man, I'm blanking now.
No, you perfect.
it happens.
Yeah, I just picked up the Thing, from the 80s movie board game based on that was really fucking fun.
That's fire.
I want to get a copy of it for here too.
That's fire as hell, man. One thing, man, when it comes to like, you know what I'm saying, stores like this, or video game stores, or comic stores, or figure stores, man, I'm a collector, so I'm always looking. And I talked to you a little bit on the phone about this kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? You say you didn't have anything at this moment,
Not yet,
but coming soon, man. Are you looking to get like some vintage pieces, vintage items?
I want to
in
try
the
and
store?
branch out. I know, especially I've only recently gotten into like Magic the Gathering,
Right.
But I know that's there's rare cards. People try and hunt down for that. I want to get more into the trading and selling of that stuff.
Right.
Once I get open and learn a little bit more about it, so that's a goal going forward. And then
That'll
I just
be
want to get
incredible.
any cool shit I can find that I think people will like.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't got to get into Magic the Gathering too much either. But one thing I will say about Magic the Gathering is they have some of the most impressive artists doing their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the art on Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Haven't got to play it too much though. Have you played it?
Yeah, just recently, like within the last few months since I started thinking about opening this, I figured I should learn how to play it.
Yeah.
So I've been going since then. But it's the same thing, man. It's like D&D. There's so much little shit to learn, but once you get it down, it goes pretty easily.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, so I understand that you guys are opening up Friday. You know what I'm saying, at noon. What's some of the events that's going to be going on? What do you guys got going?
Man, right now it's just getting the store open, getting people in, letting them check the place out. I got some product for sale. I'm going to get some more shelves and more product in as I go on, but I want people just to come in and see the place and check out the dungeons and, hopefully sit down and play a little bit.
I think that's going to be it's going to be such a vibe, bro. Speaking of the vibe, if you guys look around the room where we're at currently, this is actually, this is actually one of the mini rooms they have. Private, you know what I mean? They got a curtain. You can shut off, have your own game, get lost in imagination, which I think for games such as like D&D and shit like that, like you want to be able to get into character. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's that extra immersion.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. It's beautiful. We're here in a dungeon, guys. Like there's a fucking skeleton behind me. Where'd this idea come from? This is incredible.
I just, I thought it's something that I always thought would be cool, and then I've never seen any other place have anything like this. So I thought to set myself apart, I got to do something like this.
It creates the aura, the vibe. It really allows you to get immersed.
Exactly.
And for me as a gamer, video game wise, like that's one thing I look for. Anything, you know what I mean, nerdy. You want to feel like you are the character, relate to the character, bond with it.
And there's people. There's people that have legacy characters they've been playing for years in Dungeons and Dragons, and they cosplay as them. And I want them to have come in here and really have the full experience.
That's one thing I'm looking forward to, is popping up in here and catching people in there.
Hell yeah.
Their full regalia, if you will.
For all of it. Bring everything.
I think that's going to be dope. That's going to be dope. Do you cosplay as you play the game?
No, never really got into much of that. I've done it a couple of times at some Comic-Cons here and there, but
For sure.
Yeah, it's a little. I'm not very crafty.
That's my issue, right? So I've cosplayed at cons, but it's always been like a suit that I bought, right? I used to be Spider-Man back when I was smaller. You know what I'm saying? At a younger age. Now I have to be like a brute, somebody a little bigger. They do got a big thing in the cosplay community, though. Like, be who the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what it's there for. Fucking dress up as whoever.
The last big one I did was in Denver Comic-Con a few years ago, and I went as Lobo.
Nice. I can see it. That's
that was
fire.
I just had a leather vest and the face paint. Yeah, that was cool as hell.
Rumor has it that Jason Momoa might be playing Lobo. I don't know if it's true though. Like, there's always speculation. He would slay it. He would slay it.
Yeah.
He's a bit.
He's tall, right? I thought he was pretty tall.
You've seen Jason Momoa, the sexy man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sexy Aquaman.
He's in everything.
He is. He's absolutely gorgeous. Shout out Jason Momoa, man. If you watch this, you know what I mean. Come rock with your boys. You know what I mean. But yeah, man, that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing here is the cosplay. You know what I mean? And I love the fact that you're trying to create the environment where that stuff is accepted, where that stuff is okay. Because oftentimes in the real world, yes, it's becoming more and more cool to be a nerd, to be a geek. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more accepted. But once upon a time, way back, like, guys did this in their basements and they hid it from the world. Yeah. But now we got great stores like Critical Hit here. You know what I mean? Where you're like, no, dude, fucking come as you are.
It's great seeing the progression of everything. Because I started reading comics in the 90s, and back then that shit wasn't cool. You know, I got made fun of for reading comic books in school and shit. Now everyone loves them, which is great, but it's like, man, wish that would have been when I was a kid, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's, I've heard it talked about a little bit. I personally don't care, but it's flooded. Like, everybody, I like Marvel, I like DC, but what do you really know about it, though? What do you really know? Do you study the stuff? Do you read the books? Do you play the games? You know what I'm saying? It's a thing.
You know, I'm happy no matter what, as long as people are enjoying it.
And that's what matters.
And as long as they're still putting the stuff out for people to enjoy, I'm cool with it. But there is that little bit of, you know, old nerd rage. Like, you didn't have to deal with the bad shit.
I think that translates over perfect with the vibe of Critical Hit, though, man. Basically, man, this shit's for everybody, bro. Exactly. Come have a good time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What are some of your goals moving forward? What are some things people can look forward to within the store as it grows and, you know what I'm saying, builds a community?
I want to get games going. You know, I want to get tournaments going. I want people to come here, you know, weekly for their games and play and hook up with other people and get big shit going, man. I just want people to have fun here. That's the main goal for me.
Did you say you guys are going to have tournaments?
I want to, I want to build up like Magic tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that would be absolutely amazing, man. So to segue a little bit, you know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, my brother here, not only is he the owner, the proud owner, the originator, the creator of Critical Hit, ladies and gentlemen. But my man's also an ex-pro wrestler, and if you guys know me, I'm a big fan of pro wrestling. I went to school for it, trained for it, never did shit with it. But my man here has actually got some experience. He's did his thing. Man, I wanted to ask you a little bit about that lifestyle. Talk to us about being a professional wrestler.
Man, I started, God, how old? I was like 26 or 27. So it's been over 10 years now. Almost 10 years now. But God, it was just something I've been watching wrestling since the 90s when I got into it, and it was always a goal for me, and we did a comedy show at Compound.
Nice.
And I was on that, and then I talked to the guy running it afterwards, and I was like, hey, man, you guys do training here? What's that like? And I just decided to jump in, man, and it was a really cool experience. I wish I could have done it longer. Like I told you, I did it for about a year and then blew my knee out and had to stop. But
how'd that happen? How'd the knee injury?
I was coming off the top rope and just landed wrong.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your wrestling name?
Flint Iron Stag.
Like, that's fire.
Stole it from an episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That's dope. Did you have a gimmick?
Not really. At the time, I was super into Kevin Owens.
Okay.
And Kevin Steen from back in the day. So I kind of just emulated him a lot.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I've always been fascinated with, like, just being you in, you know what I'm saying, professional wrestling. So you times 10.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing I love about, like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Stone Cold. It seems like they're just, and it may not be them, you know what I mean, but, like, it seems authentic.
Stone Cold definitely seems like Stone Cold.
He does.
That dude
is
Stone Cold no matter what.
You watch behind the scenes interviews now and stuff, like, he's still the same dude. Yeah. But you watch stuff from way back in the day, you know what I mean? He got the long blonde hair, but I think that was the gimmick. Yeah. That was the gimmick. The Stone Cold we have now seems legit, man. Yeah. What are some of the matches you've had, bro? You told me you went to a table and got paid a hot dog. Let's talk about that.
Went to Texas, went to outside of Dallas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the only time I got put through a table. It was a tag team match. I got put through a table, and they told me they were going to give me like $75 at the end of the show. They afterwards told me they didn't have any money, so they let me take a hot dog from concession. and then I had to drive back home.
That's tough business, man.
Part of the experience, you know. It was fun.
It's not even 2 hot dogs either. It's one
I know,
hot
one
dog.
hot dog.
Like,
Was there
Not even
condiments?
free.
Was there condiments at least?
I got to put mustard on it.
There we go.
So, you know, saving grace.
that's like the amount of food that, you know, it's like a taste. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
to
yeah.
build that hunger.
And it wasn't even like a good like street vendor big plump hot dog. It was like a little like Oscar Mayer hot
Just
dog.
a tiny wing,
Yeah.
man.
I would have put somebody through a table.
For real, that would have been very upsetting, man. That's real cool though, man, that you did the pro wrestling thing. Did you train?
Yeah. Trained at Compound
Nice,
for
nice.
6 months or however, and then wrestled for about a year.
My man, that's what's up. What was your school experience like in wrestling?
It was a lot of fun, man. So I started it, and then an old buddy of mine also signed up, and so it was really cool being able to train with him. You know, somebody you already knew and had a rapport with. But everyone there was super cool. Everyone got along. I learned a lot, man. I'm really glad I did it.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like my whole time through pro wrestling and training and things, it's an experience you know what I'm saying. You
Exactly.
don't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
a great time hitting the ropes, learning how to bump.
Dude, I remember the first day we learned how to hit the ropes, and we just did it back and forth. And then I got home, and I looked in the mirror, and I had 3 bruises
Yes, bro.
all down my back.
Yes.
And it was such, like, I was like, this sucks, but I love it so much.
A lot of people don't know, man. Like they say
Those ropes fucking hurt.
they suck,
They hurt.
but like I'm obsessed with them now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It
I go
was
to
so much fun.
I go to sleep at times, man, and I'll think about the feeling or the noise
Yeah.
of the ropes to help doze
Yeah.
off. I'm a weirdo.
No,
as
I get
said,
it, man.
you
I
know,
miss, like, it hurts, but I miss taking bumps.
It's a good feeling.
That was fun, man. We'd get bump lines going and do, like, arm drags and hip tosses, and it was so much fucking fun.
It's just such an experience. You know what I'm saying? You bash on it all you want, ladies and gentlemen, but pro wrestling hurts. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It may be fake, but that shit hurts.
Predetermined.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how I feel, man.
Yeah.
It's an art.
Exactly.
You
There's
know
no
what
way
I'm
to
saying?
fake falling down.
Exactly.
You know, you just learn how to do it to where you don't hurt yourself as much.
You're just busting your own ass.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
And it gets tough. But that's really dope that you did that, man. But you also do stand up?
Yep, been doing stand up for about 10 years now.
For sure. You want to talk to us a little bit about your stand up?
Yeah. Man.
How'd you get started?
Buddy of mine I went to high school with started doing it. I was helping him kind of write jokes and stuff and hone his shit. And I was like, man, I just want to do this myself. Like, I was coming up with ideas for him that didn't really fit his style. So then I just thought, well, I'll just get on stage and do it myself. And then just got fucking hooked on it.
I can dig it. You said you've been doing it for 10 years. Just locally?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled around a little bit, you know, just around connected states, you know, but
That's what's
Yeah.
up. Are you still actively doing your thing?
kind of taking a little break now to focus on
Right,
this.
as
but
you should,
yeah,
as
I'm
you
gonna,
should.
you know, I'll hit up some spots every now and then.
I can definitely dig it, man. So back to the store, brother. You know, and we talked about kind of what they can look forward to. You know what I'm saying? The environment, the feeling, the setting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm really excited for this drop, man. How are you feeling yourself? We're right on the verge of opening day.
I'm nervous, you know, always when you put your heart and soul into something and you never know how it's going to go. So
Yeah.
I'm really super nervous, and I know once the doors are open and people come in and I get a feel for people, how they're actually like, you know, in store, like and everything, I know I'm going to be fine. But right now, it's just constant nerves.
Just the calm before the storm,
Exactly,
man.
yeah.
I think it's gonna be beautiful, brother. Are you guys gonna sell like miniatures or anything?
Yeah,
like
I got
that?
a shelf full of miniatures out
Nice,
there.
nice.
I'm going to get some paint in so people can come in and paint their minis.
In store.
Yeah.
You can just
That's
sit
dope.
here and paint.
Yeah, exactly.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So you guys are gonna be selling cards, board games, miniatures. Is there anything I'm missing in regards to what's offered here?
Not
you guys gonna
really,
have
man.
tournaments?
I'm trying to get a little bit of everything. I got a lot of D&D, Pathfinder, got Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Final Fantasy trading card game. I got a few of that, and I'm gonna keep expanding as I'm going, man. As I'm making money, I'm gonna keep getting more stuff, try out more stuff. So,
Is there maybe a buy sell trade type system here? Can people bring in stuff, sell their cards, or
like I was saying, like with the Magic thing, you know, there's cards that people, you know, really sought after stuff. So if people want to bring, eventually, once I get to that point, once I know more about it, or you know, get set up with somebody who does, then yeah, people can bring in their stuff and we'll do a little trade.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. As far as your staff goes, man, you know what I'm saying? Because one of the things, like I said, I don't know so much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean about like Magic. I played D&D one time. Will there be? You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of what the fuck I'm trying to say, guys. Will there be like will they be able to like Sorry.
Will there be a support staff?
Editing this whole part. Editing this whole piece out.
I get what you're saying. Right now, it's just me.
Okay.
I'm the only staff. I want to get, that's one of the other goals, to get to the point where I can hire some help.
Nice.
And when I do, I want people to be able to hear, especially when you have tournaments, you got to have referees for everything. So
that's crazy.
They got to know the rules and all that shit. So I want people there to do that.
For sure.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit in the future. Hopefully, if I do good enough business and I can hire some help, that'll definitely be something.
For sure. In regards to, man, just kind of explaining the rules of games to people and things like that, man, how do you guys plan on handling that?
Luckily, most of the stuff, like especially if you get into D&D, most of that stuff is, you've got the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, all the rules are there. Magic, it's a little different. I had to have somebody teach me. I'm sure you can look online and find stuff, but I think most of the time people are going to be coming in here with somebody that's already trying to teach them,
Right.
And if not, if you just want to come and buy some cards, I'll tell you what I know.
For sure.
It might not be all of it. I might not know everything because I'm still learning, but I'll give you what I can.
What do you what kind of character do you run when you play D&D?
I've really been, the last 2 games I played, I was doing a druid, which is really fun because I got the shape change.
Yeah.
I really like that. First couple of characters I did because I liked monk so much. I stuck to monk for a long time. I've tried to bounce around, try a little bit of everything. Paladins are really fun. Barbarians are great. I keep finding myself, though, lately going back to druids.
That's badass. You fit the vibe as well of the druid. Jules, have you been thinking at all into what kind of character you be playing?
So that I'm not sure, man. So we were trying to create our own story, and ours was named Pre-Hero-Storic.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a period before superheroes. So there was going to be a group of 4 or 5 individuals that went to a special school.
Yeah.
They have powers and different shit like that, and they were going to. I guess bring peace to that land. So it was in Sodom and Gomorrah. So Sodom was going to be the base of their adventures, and Gomorrah was going to be the end goal. So I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not sure what kind of characters there are and how their powers.
If I would recommend, if you're doing something like that, especially with like a Sodom and Gomorrah with more of kind of a biblical lean, look into paladins. Because paladins are basically like knights for a god.
Yeah. That's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can choose, like, there's benevolent gods and malevolent gods. You can choose what god you want to worship, and you get different kind of stats and powers based on that.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to take over for a little bit.
Thing,
so, my brother's more of the nerdy questions, but I'm more into the self-building or the self...
that's what's needed.
Yeah, the self-growth. You were saying you've been... you was teased for reading comic books and all that other shit. How'd you stay true to yourself and eventually get to this point that you want to run your own board game?
Man, that's a really good question. I don't know if I always did stay true to myself. I went through a lot of periods, especially like in high school, where I hated everything. I was the one of like only 2 goth kids in Bixby High School, so that fucking sucked. But I mean, I never tried to fit in. I just did my own thing. So I guess I did stay true to myself in that sense. But
yeah.
I don't know, man. I just always figured if it's something I like, I don't give a shit. I don't care if anyone else likes it.
It's a good vibe to have.
Yeah, it makes me happy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I always had a really good core group of friends that I could rely on, that I knew, like, if fucking somebody was picking on me or whatever, I knew I could hang out with my friends and I'd be fine,
Yeah, and as 2, I guess, entrepreneurs, podcasting or whatever, you chose 3 difficult careers that a lot of people may not fucking think about. Pro wrestling, comedy, and now starting your own board game. Like, this shit is literally just you having fun.
Yeah.
So what gave you that motivation to have that self-confidence, like, I could do this shit?
Jules coming with the heat.
Yeah, no, I really want to know this, because, I mean, that's perfect. Like, people don't understand. Like, you said you were at a job for 20 years, and that shit was just repetitive. Yeah. But this, it's new every day. Everything, comedy was new every day. Yeah. Pro wrestling, new every day. This is new every day. So what gave you that push to want to be great or want to get to this position that you're in now?
So the job I had before that I worked for 20 years was a family business.
Okay.
My parents started it when I was a kid. I never wanted to ride their coattails. I always wanted to do my own thing. So like I'd work there for a while, and I'd always leave for like a few months and try and find another job I would like or anything. But I'd always end up back there.
Yeah.
But that's why I started looking out at other stuff. Like I always loved comedy when I was a kid, so I just wanted to do that. So I tried it, and I knew like I had something to fall back on and everything. Interpersonal family stuff happened. I ended up leaving the job. And like I said, out of necessity, I had to do something.
Yeah.
And I just thought, fuck it. I this is something I love, and just another risk. But,
yeah.
I think there's a certain sense of peace that comes with doing your own thing as well, man.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? I want to applaud you on that. The fact that you're pursuing that is absolutely incredible. I ain't mean to cut you off, George.
No, it's good, brother. No, I mean, I really enjoy the story that it took for you to get to this point.
Yeah.
So, with this story, you said you thought about what Tulsa needed. How did you know for sure that this is what they needed? Because, of course, there's other little places like that, but what is going to set you apart from those things that have...
I want to add on with you really quick, just on the first part. He said, how did you know what Tulsa needed?
Yeah.
Did you know what Tulsa even needed? And then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't, obviously I can't know of, Tulsa.
Of course,
right.
But I've lived here my whole life, I know, been part of the community my whole life. So I kind of knew, what was missing and stuff that I always thought would be cool to have around here. And that's kind of why I settled on this, because this was just at the intersection of something that I loved and something that I thought other people would love as well.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool, though, man. The fact that you're doing something you love. Obviously, you got a passion for board games and things like that. And the fact that it's on your heart, you know what I'm saying, enough to be like, fuck it, I'm going all in. I'm starting a business. Because anytime you start a business, you know what I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But I'm a firm believer that 9 times out of 10, when you invest yourself in something fully, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something good's got to come of this shit, man.
Well, and I'm of the mindset, like, I don't care if I don't fucking make $1 million. I'm not trying to hit it rich. I want to survive. And as long as I can survive and other people can be happy and we can build a nice little community, then I'm set.
I think that's awesome, bro. I think that's absolutely incredible. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you're very much in the right lane to do so. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting here talking to you, your vibe's absolutely incredible. What you've described, the store's vibe is going to be like, I think this is going to be a great place for people to come and play their games and fucking enjoy the hell out of their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be dope. Do you have something?
Yeah, we really appreciate you sitting down with us. This is a big... well, not big. We're not that famous, but this is, networking.
Yeah.
But outside of this, there's going to be trials. There's going to be tribulation. Like, you can open and nobody come.
Exactly.
So what is the motivation to continue on this path, and how are you going to handle those adversities if they come or when they come?
The number one motivation is that I just have to.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything to fall back on.
Yeah, this is it. This is it.
If this fails, then I got to start over somewhere else at the bottom, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
So I got to just keep pushing through, and I got to hope that I find an audience of like-minded people that are going to enjoy it. And, I never... No matter what I do, whether it was wrestling or stand-up, I try not to look too far into the future because I don't want to cloud my own vision. Mm-hmm. I like to take stuff, a day at a time. So whatever adversity hits, I'll just, have to cross that bridge when I come to it.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense, man. Especially having these trials like blowing out your knee or comedy not working out. But this right here, I feel like is
not saying comedy hasn't worked out for my man. Let me put that out there.
No, I know what he's saying.
Yeah, this is Well, this is taking over your time or your life.
He doesn't have a Netflix special. My brother's still successful to him. Respect it.
No, my bad, man.
No, I know what you're saying. It's all good.
No, but okay. So let me rephrase it. I see that you put more of yourself into this. Like you said, you and your father built this.
Yeah.
Like
which is dope as hell. Shout out to Pops, man. Respect.
I couldn't have done it without him. My dad, Brad, he was a carpenter for years before he opened up his business. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a shot of your store, and everybody will get to see it. But everything in here, besides the mural, is you, correct?
Which shout out to the artist as well.
Alexis, right?
She's painting a kick-ass mural out there.
Hell yeah! Yeah. So what? So you were saying you want this to feel like you're actually in a dungeon. You're actually in this space. To be free, to be whomever you want to be, right? So did that come with you just being free with yourself?
Pretty much. When I would play games, I tried to get into it, character voices and shit, and just have fun, and I know there's people that get, like I said, like cosplay their characters and get way more into it than that, and I wanted something where people can come in and not have to worry about being goofy, not have to worry about trying a weird voice or doing whatever.
Yeah.
I love the privacy factor.
Exactly. I think that's a big... And I think that's, it's fun to play at like one of your friends' houses, but that's always leads to issues where somebody's got to clean their house, or, they got to make sure they got enough chairs.
I was hearing some horror stories the other day from my boy Miller. Shout out Thematic, man. He mods for me on Twitch and shit.
Nice.
he'd do some D&D games with his homies, man, while his wife was at work, but she'd come home every now and then to be fucking smell like fart ass, you know what I'm saying? They'd have to crack windows, there'd be pizza everywhere, and she'd be pissed, man. We're about to start up a game at my house, you know what I'm saying, with you're going to be in it, you know what I'm saying?
Eventually.
My wife and, you know what I'm saying, her sister and a few others, you know what I'm saying? Potentially going to try to work our way over here, though, because that would make my wife 10 times happier.
Exactly.
But my wife, she's tough, man, so I'm not looking forward to those, to dealing with that.
It's a lot easier if you can meet at a place that's designed for it than having to get with all your friends and figure out a spot.
And how cool is it to come be a part of the community, right? At home, you guys are ducked off doing your own thing, which is great. But coming out here, you get to find other like-minded individuals doing the same shit.
And it's also the basic, you know, if you're rolling bad, you want to try some new dice. I got some for sale.
Hell yeah.
Some new, you know, everything's right there.
At Critical Hit,
right?
So gaming, baby, go get you some, man.
Right, and I love that perspective. You get to find new people. Like we talked about this before. Us doing a comic book podcast, we bring in a different crowd, if that makes sense. Like, he was the owner of a battle rap league. Like, I listen to hip hop, all that other stuff. Yeah. So seeing people that we may not have associated with,
do me a favor and squeeze in a little bit more
with the crowd that is normally in the oh my goodness, board game. I feel like it shows a lot of different diversity in the beauty of D&D that you can be yourself, but you also can venture into something different. Absolutely. So my question is, how, for the people who don't know, how is it getting into character or being in a dungeon where all the goblins are there, or you have a wounded teammate? Like, explain to them that feeling, because some people can't imagine that shit.
Well, and that's a good thing about tabletop role-playing games, is there's no level. To where you can play it where you just say, okay, I want to stab this guy, and then you roll your die and you stab him. Or you can give a big character monologue. You know,
I wisheth to stab it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can, you know, some people like to play without the mat or without characters and just talk it out. Some people like having their little minifig. You know, there's no base or level that you have to play as. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. But when you get really into that moment, when you've got a good group you're playing with and you've got a good DM who sets up the scene and you get into that moment, I mean, it's the same thrill as like watching a big action movie on the theater. You know?
Right.
It's, you get that emotion, and especially a character that you're playing that you're connected to. It's great, man. It's like, it really is like a living comic book.
Yeah. And I feel like the beauty of, especially D&D, even though I played it once, we all can see something and imagine it differently. But I feel like with D&D, we are all there.
Yes.
Like, even though we're not, I feel like everyone pictures the same exact thing. And I feel like that's the beauty in just letting go and letting that childlike emotion or childlike actions come out. Because that's where you get the true essence of what these board games are. Absolutely. Because people, we just left them to rainy days or snowy days, not knowing that this can bring actual fulfillment to a lot of people's lives.
I think that's the joy in all things nerdy, though, right, gentlemen? It's like, it captures that thing you had when you were a kid. Exactly. When you were younger, you know, that beautiful feeling of like, there's nothing to worry about.
Like, it's escapism. You know? The world fucking sucks. You got a job you don't like. You know, we're in the brink of war. Government sucks. Whatever. You know, you can come here and you can fucking put all that aside for a few hours and live in a fantasy world where you're a goblin.
People need that.
Imagine how much time is going to be wasted with those clothes. Again, you're going to walk out like it's nighttime.
I know. That's what I hope, man. I hope
and that's in it. Oh, that's beautiful.
Are you guys going to make shirts or anything like that?
I'd like to eventually. Yeah.
I think
we're definitely gonna have to call.
Yeah, we'd love.
For sure.
We'd wear it on, you know what I'm saying, on the show and things. You know?
Hell yeah.
My buddy Rev, shout out Rev and Althena, my tattoo artist. They opened a shop just across the road, and he designed my logo and everything.
Oh hell yeah!
I'll get with him and have him design some merch for me.
That's dope.
Man, I gotta ask you, brother. Do you jam metal music? Oh. I feel like you give me real ass metal vibes, and I love it.
It would have been so dope if it was like just symphonies or just the calming music. That's hilarious.
I listen to a lot, but at my core, I mean, all throughout high school, that's what I finding myself.
I thought you were a metalhead, man. You give me metalhead. Just I never really gave a fuck what anybody thought. Like, I'm just like, as I'm watching, I'm like, this guy's so fucking metal. Like, I love this shit.
Well, let's transition into that a little bit, because you talk about being the only, or one of two of the only goth kids at Bixby.
Yeah.
what was that like? What was that period like in your life, especially being a teenager in fucking Bixby? Like,
we're getting the real origin.
Yeah, like we talk about origin stories. Like, this is great. I mean, shit, we went from black makeup to tattoos to fucking being in a dungeon. So it worked out.
I feel like those connect, right? Black makeup, tattoos, dungeon.
Right?
It's all kind of along the same. I've kept the same track for most of it.
Yeah, whatever you do in that dungeon, that's a different story.
Yeah, man, it was just fucking.
I can't even take it anymore. Keep going, man. Go ahead.
I was, it was one of those things like when I was in high school. I got kicked out of high school in 2006. But back then, man, it was like, and especially in Bixby, I just tried to find anything that I liked that set me apart. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be myself and everything, and I didn't really give a fuck. But even then, it was like, okay. This was coming off the heels just a few years. Like, Columbine was, 99? And I thought it was cool to wear a big leather trench coat every day.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, looking back, like, all right, maybe tone it down a little bit, But I was definitely kind of an edgelord neckbeard back then. No, it was just, it was one of those things, like, I got into metal, like most people my age, got into metal through Metallica. And then that opened the doors to, like, thrash metal and everything.
What era of Metallica you rocking with the heaviest, though? Because you just said thrash metal. I'm talking, like, search and seek and destroy.
The first,
like,
you can talk shit about Metallica now.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
I know,
I just want y'all to I have no idea what's going on
put
here.
you on later, man.
The first 4 Metallica albums, fucking Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning,
Yes, sir.
Master of Puppets, and Injustice for All are
all
fucking,
classics.
All classics, yeah. I mean, after there, you can argue. I'm a huge fan of covers, so I love, like, Garage Incorporated.
Okay.
And fucking, the Black Album is a classic, different sound and everything. But those first 4 albums,
You're gonna hate me if I get this wrong, but Black Album is where we got 1 and shit,
Yes.
right? Okay, cool. We're good.
Yeah.
I'm safe. I know my shit.
Actually, 1 was on Injustice for All, which was
it?
before the Black Album. Yeah, Black Album was
failed.
like Unforgiven.
Okay.
And a few others. But yeah, that's where it started, and then I just branched off from there. Metal, like anything else, where you get, especially, you want to find harder, more obscure shit as you go on and get more into the scene.
You a fan of, like, what is it? I watched a documentary a while back on, I don't know if you've seen this, Jules, Norwegian black metal.
Yeah.
You fuck with it?
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. These guys fucking burn churches and all kinds of just wild I'm like, I want to go here and visit these people. They seem like outstanding
They build it just to burn it.
They just...
It's man, was it Until the Light Takes Us?
I think so, yeah.
Great documentary, yeah. But black metal is one of those things. Like, the music itself is a little hard to enjoy, but I love the aesthetic. I love the atmosphere.
It's the culture.
Exactly.
The people.
Yeah.
Like, what are these guys on? Like,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
I always thought it was funny because Norway is such a beautiful place. I've always wanted to go there. It's mountains, pristine waters, it's so pretty. And then there's just these dudes with fucking face paint on going,
White,
fuck
fucking...
everything. Yeah.
Like, why are you guys so mad? But
I know.
then again, too, like, in Norwegian, like, fucking Vikings and shit, am I correct?
Yeah.
So it's in their blood to fucking
Just to be
boring.
angry.
Yeah.
You know what a burn church is?
It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun. It's crazy, yo. I love it, man. Well, brother, man, like I said, we were really excited for the opening of the store and shit. I'm fucking blanking. Jules,
I got you, brother. So, me and my brother over here, we're both fathers, and you were talking about joining the family business and your father being a carpenter, but having this spurt in your teenage life, the kind of the rebellion stage, how did your parents deal with that? And because I'm a big believer that if you bleed into your children positivity and encouragement, they can do shit like this.
Yeah.
So in that period of your life, were your parents still accepting of that version of you, or they were just like, we'll just let him do what the hell he wants at this point in time, as long as he's putting down this tile, we are good?
For the most part, they were cool with everything. The day I turned 18 and got my first tattoo, my mom kicked me out of the house.
Shit.
Because she hated that. But that was, so here's the kind of interesting thing. My parents, and I knew this from, like early teens. I think I found their stash when I was like 13. But they were always potheads.
Nice.
And they always liked to drink. And so when I was a teenager and started to rebel, since I knew my parents smoked and drank, my rebellion was getting tattooed and doing stuff that I didn't like, getting into heavy metal.
Yeah. I
never got into drugs or alcohol because I knew that's what they were into.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to, my rebellion was going the other way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but they were, we've had strife here and there, but we're mostly cool.
That's dope, man. So being a board game lover that's kind of the same and different in imagination with reading comic books. Of course, with comic books, we get to see the pictures, we get to imagine the transition and moves and all that fun stuff. So tell me about your first comic, because you said back in the 90s. That shit,
You did mention
I wasn't even born.
A couple books yourself.
Yeah.
A couple comics.
I was born in 98, just to let y'all know.
Okay. So I was born in '87. I got into comics in the '90s. It was 1996. I was a huge fan of the X-Men animated series.
Nice.
And then I kind of like knew about comic books, but I never really got into them. But then I picked up an X-Men comic. It was Age of Apocalypse.
Nice.
And that was my first. And that one was fun. I told this story to somebody recently, and it was kind of a fun memory to unlock. But I didn't know how comics worked back then. I didn't know there was issues. All that.
That was me for the longest.
Yeah, so I just picked up a random issue, and it was near kind of the end of the run. So, and especially Age of Apocalypse, if you've read it, it's totally different from the main X-Men canon, a whole other universe. So I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I just saw Wolverine, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
But so then I realized, okay, I talked to somebody, I'm like, okay, so I got to get the issue before this. So I found a comic book shop, and I got the issue before that. Still lost. Got the issue before that. And I ended up reading basically the whole run in reverse.
Backwards.
Trying to figure it out.
That's wild, man.
That's what you want to do with Nightwing, right? They go backwards.
So, as a collector, I don't know if you still currently collect issues or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I pick up issues as I can get them. Yeah. Sometimes an issue is much newer, and so they're further ahead in the series. So I recently just picked up like a Nightwing issue 99, and I was explaining to Jules. Jules is a bit newer to the comic book game, especially on the collector side of things. So you know what I'm saying? I'll pick up a book and then I'll collect back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that does not prevent me from reading forward at all, kids. Keep reading. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just decided to get the graphic novels. I'm like, I'm
so
not with that.
Trades after so long, especially like as a teenager, like I'm just gonna wait and just pick up trades that I think cool.
He takes the best route. I do agree that's smart. If you want to read the whole fucking story, get you a trade, kids. If you want to take the short route, but if you want to be a true comic book collector, collect issue by.
You want to be a real Comic Con? You're gonna have to.
King.
I don't know what the hell this man's doing.
Yeah, man. So
it's hard, man. Sometimes, especially because like I tried to do single issues and I did for years, but eventually it's like fine.
Yeah.
For me, there's something special. You know what I'm saying about having each. I'm a fucking nerd, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Each individual issue in pristine fucking condition. Every time I open it up, I can smell the ink on the pages. My wife thinks I'm the weirdest one.
Oh no, I smell my comic books.
It's a special,
it is, especially with like older books.
Yeah,
guys, I don't know if you guys have cracked open an older book, but
it's like fucking not newspaper, phone book.
Yeah.
For all the old people, all these new kids.
Well, it also taps in, like for me, taps into that nostalgia from when I was a kid and was first reading them. Yeah, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, I was. Remember when we were at Comic Empire and you gave me that detective comic with Batman
and the KKK?
Yeah, they were fucking. It was so old. They were advertising Atari.
Yeah.
Like this new gun is state of the art. I'm like, this shit is log dead.
So you mentioned, and Jules kind of brought us into that anyway. Nostalgia, right? I know you have some comics. You're into D&D and shit, but rumor has it there's another passion that you have, and that is cult films. You're a film collector. Talk to us about that.
The last few years I started, and I had some left over when I was a kid, but I really just got into. I found a group online on Reddit that did VHS collecting.
Nice.
And I thought, oh, that's cool. I like VHS. And so then I just started. I drove into it hard. Now I've got like over 600 tapes.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I found some really cool ones, and that's kind of what I love about VHS is there's so many movies that were put out on VHS because it was a relatively cheap format to produce. But like low budget indie movies that were put on VHS and then never got put on DVD, never got put on streaming. That's the only place you can find them.
So is that your main style though? Is like I'm gonna fuck with the indie shit, the shit nobody has.
That's what I'm merging into. I wanted to just get all the stuff I loved as a kid. Star Wars, course. Indiana Jones, Ghostbusters.
How cool is it to own like the Star Wars series or what I'm currently looking for is fucking Clerks. I need Clerks on VHS. That's
I haven't found. I've been trying to. I've got Mallrats and I've got Clerks the animated series and Dogma.
Nice,
but I can't find fucking Clerks.
Yeah, I'm looking for it as well, man. Dogma also, fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, it is on no streaming platform. So you either get it on DVD or VHS, like my boy here. You don't get it at all. But I'm also very much into the film collecting. I haven't got to start collecting yet. You know, I got to explain to my wife why I want to spend set amount of money on a VHS tape, and I don't even. Do you own a VCR?
Oh yeah,
nice. So you get to watch them and shit. That's fucking even better, right?
Yeah. It's so much fun, man. Just putting it back in, hearing it, and I
agree.
Yeah.
One of the cool things I love about old VHS tapes, right? Even old game boxes and shit, is the box art.
Oh yeah,
it was different. It was done differently.
That was a big thing that got me into it because VHS just displays better.
It does
than DVD or anything.
It's beautiful.
Else. Yeah.
How do you have your collection laid out? Like, is it just on a shelf and you just see the what is that? The fucking size of the
cardboard.
tape?
Yeah. A few of them. I've got one kind of smaller shelf that's all kind of horror movie stuff.
Nice.
And those are all facing forward because I want like the full box on that. Then I've got a few shelves that are just kind of miscellaneous, comedy, whatever. And those are just stacked up where they can. And then I lucked out a few months ago. I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace who was selling the old 80s pull drawers.
Oh, wow.
And I bought a bunch of those from him, so I got a couple of stacks of those, too.
That's pretty dope. Yeah. What would you say your most prized, your favorite movie in that collection is, man? Gotta go tough. There. Give me a top 5.
I just recently found a really good copy of Young Frankenstein, which is my favorite movie.
Dope.
Mel Brooks.
Dope.
The first, what got me into the VHS collecting, the first thing was I found a box set of the original trilogy Star Wars, and it was pre-special edition.
Oh, that's incredible.
So those were a big one. Man, I just recently got some really weird kind of horror movie. I got the first Child's Play, which is fun. I've been looking for that one.
That's awesome.
Chud. Basket Case, which is a really weird fucking movie. I'm trying to get more obscure shit, but
I think that's the way to go, man. The more out of the box you can get with, you know what I mean, anything in collecting is always dope. Like I said, when it comes to comic books, I collect obviously the mainstream, but I'm also a big fan of like the things that aren't probably like crime comics. And people don't give them enough love, man. I wanted to ask you, brother. I have to ask. You know what I'm saying? For the new collectors at home, what's a good way to start to getting into collecting VHS tapes?
Man, the only advice I can get is like what I did. I saw that it was on eBay. It was just that Star Wars, and I was like, oh, cool, pre-special edition, because that's impossible to find now.
Right.
Everything's special edition. So I got that, and then I was like, man, I wonder what. And then I just started getting more recommendations on eBay, and then from there I started going to thrift stores around town.
Smart.
Getting on forums and stuff, and it's just find something you like. If you want a specific movie, look for it, and then that'll hopefully ignite kind of a passion to find more.
See, so he brought up a term for what you're talking about. It's called the thrill of the hunt, right? And I see how passionate.
Wild.
I see how passionate you are about collecting these movies or trying to find stuff that reminds you of your childhood. Explain to these people what that feeling is like, going in actually looking for something and finding it. Like,
it's a rush.
Yeah, like sometimes you can't explain it, but in your best way ever, what is what is your
with
excitement?
VHS, it's so much fun too, because usually if you go to a thrift store, they're usually like in a pile in the corner. They're buried. You got to unstack all of them, and when you find that one just buried in there that nobody else cares about, like
I
said,
talking to me right now. I feel every bit of this.
It's my favorite movie of all time. I wanted a copy so bad, and it was just there, wedged between like two National Geographic movies
at a thrift store.
At a thrift store, yeah, and it was just there. The box is a little torn up, but I pulled the tape out, beautiful, no mold.
Nice.
I had to have. It was.
Are you big on the conditioning of the box?
Not really, as long as the tape plays.
Right. I can dig it.
In fact, I think some of the more beat up adds a little bit of element to it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
How, actually, let me go into that. I like that because you were saying that most, the comics that you, or not comics, excuse me, the action figures that you got, some of the boxes were opened or Nancy, you were like, yeah, somebody had this and whatever. Exactly. But I feel like just knowing that somebody had it or just the history that went into it, like all that shit, that shit that happened to that toy from the store to your possession.
Yeah. The journey.
We don't comic, know that.
Right. This comic or this VHS tape or whatever it is you may be collecting. Shout out to somebody to get an old school D&D. Like, that'd be fucking incredible. You know what I'm saying? The journey that this had to go through, the joy that it created. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, that's one of the fun thing about tapes too. Every now and then you'll pull out, like you'll get a Scream 3 I just watched recently. Yeah. And I pulled it out and it still had a label on it that was some lady in Tennessee who put her name and address on there for some reason. That's
cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. Man. So, how long have you spent in a thrift shop or a VHS place looking because I know
just really quick, I'll say when it comes to a figure store, comic store, I'll circle that mug.
Oh, yeah, 5 times. Absolutely. So our home comic book place is Impulse Creations, and I've looked at almost every fucking comic book in there, but I still look and I still find different things.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other, I'll hit up places, every month or so I'll go back. Even though I've already picked a place clean, maybe they got something else in. Right?
Yeah.
But even then, there might be something that I accidentally passed up, that I found. Like, I didn't see that last time.
Or your taste may change. That happens to me all the time. Like, I'll turn my nose up to something, I'll come back, and I'll be like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I need this in my collection. You know what I'm saying? It's so cool to talk to another collector, right? Me and Jules collect comic books, but you collect something of the more obscure collection.
A little more niche.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a little bit more niche. It's cool to find somebody that shares that weird, strange passion of like, I need this. You know what I'm saying? There's just
something fun about it, man. It's the nostalgia, but also the thrill of the hunt, and just
yes, the thrill of the hunt. I agree, man. It's awesome. I wish your collection many moons, my brother. Continue doing your thing. We're nearing the end of the episode, brother. Really quick, I just wanted to go back and highlight Critical Hit one more time, brother. Again, you guys are opening up Friday. You know what I'm saying?
At noon.
Yeah, we'll be open Friday from noon to 9:30.
Oh, shit.
Saturday, noon to 9:30. And then Monday, closed Wednesday, but every other day of the week, noon to 8.
And is that going to be regular hours?
Yep.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys come on out to Critical Hit, man. Come play some Hitman. It's crazy. Come play some board games, bro. Get busy. You can paint you a fig. You know what I'm saying? You can dress up, wear what you want. You don't have to dress up. Just come be yourself. Come be a part of the community.
Check out what I got. Play some games.
True indeed. It's going to be absolutely good time, man. Do you want to plug any socials?
You can follow me on Instagram, Critical Hit Tulsa. And I'm going to make a Facebook page tonight for the store, so it'll probably be the same thing, Critical Hit Tulsa. So,
I did search up on Facebook. I was like, where is he?
I know. I've been meaning to make one. Now that I'm opening, I got to.
For sure, man. Yeah. Well, brother, we definitely appreciate the hell out of rocking with you here. I loved talking about films with you. Loved talking about your origin and all that. I didn't know we were going to get into all that.
It was good. I'm glad.
It was a total blast. Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time. Jules, you got anything?
Yeah, man. So before we go, this won't be a comic book podcast or a nerd podcast. DC or Marvel?
Yeah, we gotta
and top five and putting you on the spot. This is the dungeon's cool, but this is where we see if you know your shit.
So Marvel, like I said, I got into comics because of the X-Men,
right?
And then that led to Spider-Man, and then that led to the Avengers. So growing up, it was all Marvel. In my teens, early 20s, I got more into DC.
You have a more developed opinion.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
When you were a kid, you did kid things, which is Marvel.
I like the more darker stuff, the Batman stuff, got Arkham Asylum stuff.
Nice.
Now dude, whatever interests me.
Whatever
interests me, I go for. I got really into Image and Dark Horse and more of the indie stuff for a long time. Just. Yeah, whatever I like.
Can dig it.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
If I had to choose one, I'd probably say Marvel, just because that was the first one.
All right,
shout out to you, though.
top 5 characters from shit, comic books, Lord of the Rings, whatever nerdy shit that has characters. Top 5.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah, man, this is deep.
God damn it.
Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. This is why we came.
This is why we're here.
Critical Hit Gaming. We need to know your top 5 superheroes.
I can't. Do they have to be in order?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm just gonna throw out a bunch that I love.
Lay them out.
The Ghostbusters, always one unit.
Oh hell
Solid.
yeah.
RoboCop.
Solid.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Nice.
Love Spidey. Batman's still one of my all-time favorites.
He's the best.
Fucking Indiana Jones, man. I can go back and watch the Indiana Jones movies.
You're going to be so upset I've never seen Indiana Jones.
Oh, dude, they're so good.
Never seen Back to the Future.
Good. Oh, fuck. I should have thrown in Marty McFly.
Man, we appreciate you. One more question.
Yeah.
In your collection, man, just as a collector, I got to know, do you happen to have any of the Michael Keaton Batmans?
Oh, yeah. I got all of them.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. I respect you.
Did you watch the new Flash trailer?
I haven't seen the newest one yet. I watched the one that released a few days ago.
Oh, is there another new one?
I thought there was a new one that came out a day or two ago.
I think so, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm missing out. What do you think about Michael Keaton coming back?
I'm excited. Trepidatious, but excited.
Yeah.
I love Michael Keaton.
Trepidatious?
That's a crazy guy.
Yeah.
What was that?
Nervous.
Okay.
Nervously
Woo!
excited.
I love, and people are gonna hate me for this. You guys at home, I love that it's a Batman movie. It ain't about you, Flash. It's
not. It's not.
It's all DC should be about.
It's
all
gonna
comics should be about.
It's all the stuff with like Flash behind the scenes, that crazy
Right.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
I know they're trying to pivot it to be more Batman centric, which is fine.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see Michael Keaton back, no matter what.
Hell yeah.
Man, well, Cam, it was definitely a fucking pleasure rocking with you,
Absolutely.
brother.
Big pleasure.
Hopefully, we may get you on again sometime
Yeah,
soon.
for
You
sure.
know what I'm
Anytime
saying?
you guys want to come,
For sure.
hang out, record in a dungeon.
Most def. Jules, socials.
Check out Socks on Off podcast. Just dropped a relationship podcast. That was a really good one. So make sure you go check that one out. But that's it for me, man. May your pain be champagne.
True indeed. Kids, be sure to check out Comic Con's podcast on Instagram, Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Hit us with that subscription. Spotify. Anywhere else you guys are looking for a podcast, we are there. Come support. Come be a part of the community. Also, check your mans out on King Castro X Gaming. Y'all know I'm out here trying to stream and things now. You know what I'm saying? And I still talk comic books and movies there, too. So if you like this, you'll like that. Without further ado, kids, we are the Comic Cons. This has been Cam Porter, and we out. Book. I've been blanking all episode. This is crazy,
man. Oh, Cam, we appreciate
That was
you,
a lot
brother.
of fun, guys. Yeah.